My name is Kit.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming The Boys. It's happening. It's finally here. The Boys Season 4 has arrived. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Here.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Watch it.
I'm panicking. It's too diabolical.
Diabolical, my guys.
For those of you that have been listening to our The Boys season by season recaps, welcome back. If you're new to the show, maybe for the first time ever due to the wonders of SEO, hello.
Hi.
Okay.
We are, I think most people enjoy it. It's a fun time. It's lackadaisical. It's explicit, but we mean no harm, much like The Boys show itself.
We're just like your friends. You guys watch the show together. You go down into the basement. You crack open a cold one. And you just hang out with your friends. That's the vibe we're going for here.
Unhinged commentary.
Yes.
That's what I like to call it.
A cold cherry Coke Zero. That's what it is that they cracked open, right, Steve?
Yep.
Not a brewski.
No. I got to watch my health, right?
Yeah, your caloric intake.
There's too many carbs in the brewski.
We should say we will spoil the first 3 seasons of The Boys, just in case there's any crazy people out there watching season 4. But also, fair warning, the first season of Gen V as well. If you didn't know, it's kind of like season 3.5 of The Boys. Like there's a lot of plot points from that show that expanded, not just the lore, but the plot, the main plot of The Boys, and will be used in this season. Already thus far, some of that stuff was mentioned in episode 1. So fair warning for that as well. You can listen to our Game of Thrones coverage by going to patreon.com/streaming things and subscribing at the $5 tier or above. You will get access to the season 1 action of Game of Thrones. And also next week, we start our coverage of House of the Dragon season 2. So
Exciting.
Bing, bang, boom. You guys got all kinds of good stuff happening here on Streaming Things. You're welcome. So how we're going to do this, if you're new and if it's been a while, we're going to give our overall thoughts on each episode. Just no spoilers, just in general. Well, spoilers might be there, but just in general, what we thought of the episode. Go around the table, and then we'll do the deep dive.
Ooh.
Because that's a character.
It is, yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. No sea creatures were harmed in the making of our recaps.
That's right. Just a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap of what happened and our thoughts in depth. And then we got some fun stuff at the end, our diabolical moments, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. That's right.
Fucking diabolical.
Bollocks. Then we'll dip into the Vought Vault, maybe, to talk about some Easter eggs. I don't know. Maybe some comics stuff, maybe some things we could pull out as far as like references to older seasons or Gen Vs, whatever that looks like for each episode. And then end it all with not our lives, but the episode with the... Because that sounded final.
Yeah.
And then we're going to end it all.
End it all.
And then do our compound VIPs, our chosen favorite performance of each episode. And that'll be what our coverage of The Boys season 4 looks like. Let's dive right in. The episode is called Department of Dirty Tricks. Actually, I forgot this one little business thing. Amazon does this thing where you probably noticed episodes 2 and 3 are already out. So what we're going to do is drop our coverage of those episodes over the subsequent days.
Yes.
And then thereafter, every episode of The Boys on Streaming Things will drop every Friday.
Every Friday, yeah.
So-
So episode 1 will be Friday.
It's happening now.
Episode 2 will release Saturday. Episode 3 will release Sunday. And then from there on out, it'll just be on Fridays.
And then Monday, baby, you're getting that House of the Dragon coverage.
It's a big week for streaming things.
Every Wednesday on Patreon, you're getting that GOT.
Oh, yeah.
All up in you. And then every Friday, The Boys.
Yeah.
The Boys all up in you.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Department of Dirty Tricks. Madison, what did you think of episode 1, season 4, The Boys?
So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid beginning to season 4 because it had been a 2-year hiatus since season 3 had come out. I forget the length in between season 2 and season 3, but I feel like season 3 to season 4 was a little bit of an extra, I don't know. I think there was an extra year there. So we had
felt
to,
it.
Yeah, we had to wait a little bit longer for this one. But I think it came back swinging with a lot of crazy fun shit. I think it really kept the momentum of what had happened at the end of season 3. And it just got me super hyped and excited for the rest of the season. I'm very happy with the beginning of where the season is going.
You're back in, is what you're saying.
Back in, yeah.
Steve, what about you? I know you just binged all of season 3.
yesterday.
As we're recording
Well,
this.
Yeah, as we're recording yesterday, but like as you're hearing this 2.5 weeks ago. So yeah, I actually it's funny. I had never seen season 3 of The Boys until, like we said, yesterday. So if you had been listening to our recap episodes, I was like catching up on everything. Like I literally watched all of it in its entirety, episode 1 through 8 yesterday. So I'm like fresh. I'm like freshy on this. And I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'll talk about this in the review, but like leaving season 3, I that's my least favorite season by a considerable margin. Like,
considerable.
Yeah. Like I love season 1. I think season 2 might be just as good as season 1, maybe even better. I don't know. Depends on what day I wake up. I might rank it that way, but season 3 is like a distant, like that's my least favorite one. There's just like a weird vibe to season 3 that I don't really care for. It's hard to explain, but so going into this season, I was a little trepidatious. I mean, season 3 did, I think by the end of it, correct itself. So by the end it was like, okay, this is back where I want the boys to be. But I was a little,
the boys are back in town,
as Thin Lizzy might say.
Back in town.
And so going into this episode, I had a little bit of trepidation, but I'm here to tell you guys, after watching this first episode of The Boys, the credits rolled and I just kept thinking,
It was perfect. Perfect.
It was great. No, I think this is honestly maybe the funniest episode of The Boys. Like there are some really laugh out loud moments, and there's a lot of laugh out loud moments in The Boys, but sometimes it could be like, oh, that's so fucked up, or like, wow, I can't believe I'm watching this. That's messed up. He's a tiny man and a dick. Weird. But this was like a genuinely like
one time, dude.
I wasn't even talking about The Boys.
Oh,
Right.
This was genuinely just really funny and clever, and like there were several parts where we were cackling throughout, and we didn't mention this up top, but the way we do our reviews is we are going to be watching most of these possibly together and then immediately come into the studio and turn the mics on.
That's the streaming thing's way.
It's the streaming thing's way. It's raw.
Reaction.
It's unfiltered. It's here. And so we just finished watching episode 1, 20 minutes ago? And now we're here talking about them. But I know I really, really like this episode. I'm excited to see where it goes. One of the things I love about The Boys is the way it sort of takes the real world media and politics that we have in our day to day, and they like bring it to the forefront. They're not scared to be like, oh, there's a weird grooming thing going on in right wing media. Let's bring that into superheroes, right? Like they're not afraid to do that shit. And this episode really kind of takes that forward. You get more Homelander. All these arcs are kind of going forward in good ways. I'm really, really excited to see where they go for the rest of the season, because this episode was great. I loved it.
It was fire.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of this show. I don't think I can say. And I've only seen season 1 twice, to be honest. I've been watching recaps and stuff to do our recaps, but I've read the comics all the way through, like I said, and I don't think I can say that. I think that season 3 is my least favorite or anything like that. I think that's interesting. I can't wait to. Well, we've already delved into that as far as the listeners know, but we haven't actually recorded our season 3 recap yet.
Yeah, we're recording our season 3 recap like 5 days from as we're recording this. It's kind of the timeline's all over the place.
We'll send out a mass email to explain the timeline of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
There's going to be Easter eggs about our recording of these episodes.
Yeah, just so you guys can keep up to date on the streaming things cut.
Yeah, listen to this now, and then me and Chris will convince Steve to like season 3. So listen to the season 3 recap, and it'll be
You'll see what
opposed
happens.
to what Steve is saying currently.
Will they succeed? Tune in to find out.
I mean,
Seriously.
I know that I'm very highly on all seasons. I don't know what my ranking would be, because I'd have to rewatch them to feel like that for sure. Because I love the Stormfront stuff from 2. The first season's fucking phenomenal. But I love the Soldier Boy stuff. And I do love the ending of season 3, which I think was controversial to a lot of people. But it's one of the only times I can remember actively crying to an episode of The Boys. So I do rank it pretty high. But yes, very strong start to season 4. Everything that The Boys does well is firing on all cylinders in this episode. It's a very funny show. This episode in particular is hilarious. It's very violent. And yes, like you said, the blistering social commentary that The Boys is so good at, that's not present at all in the comics, might be the best that it's ever been in this episode. And I think that's why I like season 3 so much too, because I felt the same way, that the whole bit about Homelander realizing he can do whatever and somebody will cheer him. He just needs to find his radical core people. You know, it was an obvious allusion to what was going on with Trump, and he could come out and just mock a disabled person. And there would be a core of our society that would be like, yeah, you know, which is wild.
Wild, yeah.
But that exists. And so like that kind of stuff was the most present in season 3, which is why I like that so much. And that's going on here. So, and like Steve alluded to, we're watching all of these episodes on screeners weeks before the show comes out. And I don't say that to point out anything other than we might be dumb as shit. So like there's no like criticism from anyone else that we can lean on or pull from. This is all just us. So if we miss some huge stuff or something like that, we usually don't. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like we capture the average essence of what everyone is thinking about.
We're the blue collar podcast listeners, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
I may not be a smart man, but I know what TV is.
We're real salt of the earth podcasting right here.
I know what a character arc is. That's right. That's what we do here. And we also, from time to time, pull a sweet Forrest Gump reference.
Well, you do.
I'm pretty proud of that.
My Forrest Gump sounds like Bill Clinton.
When you were sick that time, though?
Oh, yeah. That one time when I was sick, hell yeah, I was
It
nailing
was fire.
Jedi.
Were you guys ready to do the deep dive?
Let's dive deep.
That's right.
do it.
Let's do it.
Deep.
Well, the episode is described thusly. It's election night, and President-elect Bob Singer and VP Victoria Newman are throwing a party to celebrate their victory. But when the boys crash the party to assassinate Newman, the mission goes horribly wrong. And that's where we start out. So Newman, who opens the episode, to the Sex Pistols.
Hell yeah.
I don't think that was diegetic. I like to imagine she was marching to the podium to God Save the Queen. But I think that was just for our benefit.
She seems like she would actually enjoy that song.
In slow-mo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was real too, yeah. As one of her powers. That should have been my superpower that I chose
from the
in the
first
recap. Just do slow-mo.
Slow-mo.
Just look really cool.
Yeah.
But like
it affects
always,
no one.
or you can choose when to be in
I
slow
can
motion.
choose, obviously.
Choose,
That would be crazy.
You're just a sloth the whole time.
Do you remember that Dave Chappelle bit?
Everything looks cooler in slow motion.
Yeah. When he's taking his shit and he like flies off the toilet. Yeah, but everyone else is moving at normal speed. It's a horrible power, but I would just look dope.
Yeah.
But like a song's always playing.
Yeah.
So like Madison and I could be like in the studio and then we just slowly hear like Cherry Bomb in the distance. And we're like, oh, here comes Chris.
No, I would have to have like, the way I imagine it is I would have to have like a boom box and press play and then do my slow-mo.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this for you.
It's a good power. What was my power?
You were Flamer. You
Flame on. Yeah.
you were basically the Human Torch.
I made myself laugh from the past. So
man.
Newman's there. She is the VP elect. And we get a shot of Kamiko's 11 is what I called it, because it was kind of a heist thing. The boys are back in town. Mm-hmm. They're there to assassinate Newman. And we quickly see, Butcher's out back puking because he's got, at this point, it's probably been 6 months since the end of season 3, it seems like. So he's got about 6 months left to live. Because they gave him a year at the end of season 3 at the longest.
Yeah.
And we see Huey and Mother's Milk and Frenchie in the van. They're conducting a mission, and Butcher's there at everyone else's chagrin. Huey's the only one that wants him there.
Because MM's leading the whole charge now.
Yeah, he's in charge of the boys. Mallory put him in charge.
Yeah, he's got all this. He's leading the team now. He's got all this responsibility, and with great responsibility comes a great stash.
That's what they say in Spider-Man. I don't like the stash. I miss the beard.
I miss the beard too, honestly.
Yeah.
MM's a handsome man.
He is.
And I'm sure that's a great stash to many people. I don't like it as much as the beard. He looks, would you say he looks like a cop?
Yeah, I think he looks like a cop. I don't know if it's, as we later learn, he's doing more with the CIA and Grace. And so I think maybe that's why
I think they just wanted to show the passage of time, and it's a bad choice.
So?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But
or maybe Laz was like, guys, I really want a mustache.
Like,
please.
It's kind of like just wimpy. Like, give it a little bit of like a
It's a little bit of a pencil thin mustache. Yeah.
It's well manicured.
It's very well manicured. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just with his beard though.
How'd you do the accent? It's very Stormfront of you.
Tuned into my Stormfront real quick.
No.
But if it was like a little bit more of a bushy mustache, I think I would enjoy it more.
Hey, you're normally you're pro stash.
I am pro stash.
Typically.
Yeah.
I did a stash briefly, and you were very supportive.
Yeah. I'm always supportive of a stash. Just maybe not this one.
I get it. But Butcher's supposed to wait. He's not really welcome there, right? So we cut to an epic entrance of Homelander. And we get this awesome camera angle. It's like America's man. And it turns out he's pissing.
That was such a great shot because they've got the epic music playing and it looks like the sky and the sun's behind him, but you find out it's a light sconce and
he's just like staring at a wall and you're like, what is he doing? And then he's like standing, hands on hips, dick out, peeing.
Presumably.
Yeah. In a urinal. Have you guys, well, I said you guys. Chris, have you ever?
Hey, you don't know me.
That's true. Have either of you ever stood at a urinal, hands on hips, and just proudly let it go?
Yes.
Without fear of it spraying on everything?
You got to have some serious hangage to pull that off.
Serious hangage.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So along that line.
So you got to be pulling a Todd.
No. So, sometimes I'll tell you what Andy does. I'll out him here.
Okay.
He does a thing that's always
co-host of our Game of Thrones and Hot Tea coverage, Andy.
It's not. I think Andy does it, but also my buddy Sean, who's also been on the podcast. They do this thing where they go up to urinal. We're at a concert or something, so we're all in a line at a urinal. They'll pull their phones out, start scrolling.
Madness.
Right? I'm like,
well, like one hand holding.
Correct.
Insane.
I'm not saying anything about the sanitary nature of that. I'm just saying like the addiction to the screen is real. You're taking a piss, man.
I mean, I got both hands available, so I'm
sure.
Yeah,
I'm always on the phone.
I understand when someone's sitting on the toilet, bring the phone out. Sure, I get that. But at the urinal,
you're just killing time.
I'm like, how long are y'all standing there for?
Andy just take long pees.
Enough to scroll 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures on Instagram.
Oh yeah, drinks a lot of beer.
If I was next to Andy at a urinal and he pulled out his phone, my first thought is like,
I was like, where are you going with this, Steve? and he pulls out his phone.
His phone. Well, his dick's already pulled out, but he pulls out his phone as well. In addition to, my first thought is like, you taking pictures, dude? What the fuck?
Oh yeah,
dude,
that's a bad look. Yeah.
What? That's not cool.
He turns on streaming things on YouTube and like props it on the urinal. He's like,
you guys seeing this?
Did you see that?
Smash that subscribe.
He's doing promo in the bathroom.
Could be. Yeah. That's one thing he does. But Homelander's just staring at the wall. He's contemplating his existence. He pulls out accidentally a very lengthy gray pube. And I got to say, he needs to trim those bushes. That is a long pube.
It was really long.
Never have I seen a pube that long.
I didn't know the Homeland was unkempt.
That's true.
Yeah. That guy needs to get the lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped.
We're not even sponsored. We just need Homelander to get that.
Yeah, please, sir.
And then he's there with his son, Ryan, and he's giving him a speech because Ryan's a little nervous. He's like, would you be afraid of cockroaches? And Ryan's like, yeah.
Yeah, I would be. That's horrifying.
Also, can we talk about Ryan looks like a 30-year-old man.
Some time has passed. He's grown a lot.
Yeah.
He's at least 2 feet taller than the last season.
Yes. He's on the verge of hitting puberty for sure. Or has hit it and it's staying.
He's got what we call the Stranger Things problem.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Much time has passed. Mm-hmm. But 6 months could be, he just hit a growth spurt.
Hey, he's hitting that growth spurt. He's definitely.
Plus he's a soup.
He's a soup. He's definitely drinking all the milk that Homelander's giving him. That's a grown boy right there.
Mm-hmm. Milk does the body good. Mm-hmm. And he tells him, hey, what I tell you, humans are toys for our amusement, right? But you can tell Ryan's not completely drinking the Kool-Aid there. He's not completely convinced about that.
He's not drinking them 1%.
The boys in the van see that Homelander is there. They're upset. That's not part of the plan. They're there to kill Newman, not get sidetracked by Homelander. Do not be spotted. Do not engage, especially you, Butcher, right? And he's on trial for murder, the one that we saw toward the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's that one protester that threw something at him, accidentally hit Ryan, called him a fascist, and Homelander just lasered his head off.
Yeah.
And everybody cheered. He confronts Newman, who no longer wants anything to do with him. He says, oh, you will have something to do with me. And he even says, just because we got a libtard president, just really playing that card all the way. The writers of this season.
He's such a weird guy because at one point, Newman's daughter Zoe is also there, and so they're like, "All right, you two go away so we can talk business. Go look for ice cream." And Homelander's like, "And nobody come back pregnant."
Right?
I'm kidding, guys. No one could take a joke anymore. It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
One of the things that I love about the Homelander character in the last couple of seasons, and I know that a lot of our listeners would strongly prefer that we don't delve into politics. We've been emailed about this, and we've said before there's no way to avoid that. We are who we are. But also this show, that's especially impossible to talk about it with any depth whatsoever. In fact, I don't know why you'd even be watching this show if that offended you, because there's a lot of it. But the whole point of Homelander's character is that he doesn't actually even like the people that like him. He's just a grifter, which I think we all believe to be true about a lot of the politicians in our own world. Is they don't actually believe the things they're saying. They just know what to say to get the base to vote for them.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
Very, very good, Steve. That's what I was going for there. But yeah, Butcher sees his son, Ryan. He pulls the earpiece out. He's already off mission immediately. He approaches him, and I love the line. Ryan says, he's like, he murdered a man in front of you. That guy was a pedophile, Dad. Because again, that's another thing that the right uses a lot. To justify a lot of the things that they do. So that's apparently the story that Homelander's going with for why he killed the guy. And Homelander shows up in the middle of him trying to convince Ryan to come back with him. And he can, with his X-ray vision, see his brain trauma and that he's going to die soon. But again,
I love
spares
this relationship between Homelander and Butcher that has sort of developed. It did develop, I think, I love this current iteration that have developed in season 3 where the two of them are like, hey, we want to have this big epic battle against each other. That's why we kind of let each other live, because it's kind of their thing. So just the fact that he's like, man.
It's like a Batman and Joker.
They need they kind of need each other in a way. And and the scene ends so perfectly because you kind of see Ryan as a little like, oh wait, Billy's dying. I'm not super down with that. I'm a little shaken up by that. But Homelander's like, all right, let's go. I do not want to miss Smash Mouth.
You cackled out loud, and it was so funny.
Steve lost it over that. It was such a subtle joke.
It was amazing.
They're going to play the Shrek soundtrack.
That's a banger.
Yeah, it is.
That's a hallmark of my childhood, sir.
Sure.
Now I'm a believer.
Yeah. We cut to Zoe. She goes back to like her mom's green room, her mom being the vice president-elect, Newman. And the Secret Service in there actually works for the CIA. So they're there to help the assassination, as well as Frenchie and Kimiko are in there as well. Zoe immediately senses things are off. And remember, she was shot up by Compound V by her mother. So she has powers now. She's got like...
Maybe the worst power ever?
Oh, it's awful.
It's like Medusa mouth. That's what I call it. That's what I called it.
Yeah.
With no like turning to stone, just like ripping things off.
Just the snakes in the mouth. Nah.
It's kind of like a Tremors thing, like a graboid.
Yeah, is she eating the people technically?
Yeah, she's eating the skin off. Those things are.
Because when one of the agents fell, you could just see the skull.
Bone,
it was creepy looking.
Ripped his whole little face off. But also like they've got like a saw function with Kimiko's arm there, or like a quick bitey thing.
Yeah, like she like rubbed the skin down to the bone and then ripped it off. It was gnarly.
It's wild, yeah. So she's got that whole thing, the graboid mouth, rips Kimiko's arm off. They make a break for it, and Starlight outside says, "Jump out the window!" Right? Because she's been we find out through this episode she's been practicing a way to fly with her light powers. So she's going to catch them. Unfortunately, Kimiko's arm is growing back, so she's got this whole like, it's my strong hand.
This little baby arm
thing going on.
Yeah, it's like I loved the slow-mo of like this very tiny like baby hand.
Yes.
And then Starlight's big hand. It was just so funny. It was like
Kimiko
almost there.
Almost in that slow motion shot, she almost looked like, isn't that adorable?
Yeah.
Look at it.
Look how tiny it is.
It's a little hand.
So
gotcha.
Starlight misjudged the distance because she was expecting an adult arm. And so she drops Kimiko, who falls to what would be her death if she didn't have the healing factor of Wolverine, and catches Frenchie, though, and brings him down safely. So that's funny. She splats and then like has to grow her face back, freaks everybody out.
Yeah.
Victoria finds Huey in the van, and they kind of reunite because they were close when they were working at that anti-soup initiative together. And she has a heartfelt moment where she says, "I was scared to lose you. That's why I didn't tell you I had a soup power." She, it kind of does she got a lot of good left in her? It seems so.
It seemed like her actions towards him were genuine when they were talking. I felt.
I thought so too.
I agree.
And there's this whole amazing bit where she's, have you seen War Games? Look at you. Of course you fucking seen War Games.
War Games.
It's mutually assured destruction. You've got the footage of me at the orphanage where I blew everybody up, right? That can end my career and what I've got going on here. And I've obviously got you over a barrel. So let's just call a truce. And at that moment, Butcher shoots her in the head.
At point blank range.
She's got powers we didn't know about because that does not affect her. She's
Huey
super
tries
strong.
to throw acid on her
It does.
first.
Just ruins her outfit.
Yeah.
It's very annoying.
What the fuck? I gotta be on TV in 10 minutes, you dick.
I love how cool she was about the attempted murder. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't phase her at all. I'm interested to see, like, do you guys like think that she's as evil as they think? Like, I feel like there's a lot more to her. Like, she's not going to be the primary antagonist. Maybe she's still good at heart.
I feel like she will bounce back and forth. Like, I think she'll sway one way and then another episode maybe lean another. I feel like she has the ability to go both ways.
These are all complicated characters of light and dark. But, you know, yeah, she's definitely not. I mean, we've seen how she was raised. She was raised as an orphan. Not only a soup, but the kind of power that's not easy to make sexy, you know what I mean? And turn into a hero. There's a similar character in Gen V that has the same problem, Marie Moreau. And she was manipulated by Stan Edgar most of her life. You know, she's got a lot going on, but she obviously loves her daughter. And I think she ultimately just feels backed into a corner by the circumstances of life. So after that, we cut to Mother's Milk and Butcher meeting with Mallory, the head of their unit at the CIA. Mallory doesn't want Butcher there. He's outlived his use, right? He's just a complete mess now, and she doesn't like him anyway.
Yeah.
She only wants to talk to Mother's Milk. And the other guy's super pissed. His agents died. I had to make up a story about how they snorted cocaine or fentanyl-laced cocaine.
we had to tell their families that.
I don't recall knowing, I'm sure I did, that Mother's Milk's name is Marvin.
I think they've said that before.
I think
Yeah.
they
Had to
have
be, right?
Yeah. But
Especially in the comics, but I was just still taken aback by that.
Yeah.
Don't they always refer to him as MM, or is that just me in my head?
No, it is MM.
Okay. Yeah.
Way cooler than Mother's Milk,
MM.
Yeah.
you know? And then, so they just stress the need to eliminate Newman. Like, that's the number one priority, to assassinate her. We meet a new
And it's
character.
wild that her running mate, the president-elect, is the one that's like, you got to kill her. I didn't know she was a superhero before.
Freaking me out.
It's fucking weird. It's a one heartbeat away from a soup running America.
Well, that's how George Bush Jr. had to have felt.
Probably.
You
You guys got to do something about Cheney.
watch my drive.
Take him out to the woods. Take care of him. What? He shot you in the face? Shit.
Plot twist.
Now watch this drive.
We meet
a mission accomplished banner and everything. You failed? God damn it.
I knitted it myself.
Hoisted by my own petard again.
You know, I don't know about this saying, but we got one back home. Fool me once.
Shame on you. Fool me twice.
Can't get fooled again.
Can't get fooled again.
We meet a new character played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
What?
Negan. Yeah. Which we don't know how much he's going to be in this show because they're filming a new fucking Walking Dead spinoff number 9.
God damn.
And they brought his character back. So who knows? But he should be in quite a few episodes. But he plays Joe Kessner, which is apparently an old war buddy of Butcher's.
Yeah, he's the comedian.
That's right. And he says, we need you, buddy, for like an extra top secret thing on top of the top secret shit you do.
There's so many top secret things.
There's so many layers. Ogres are like, they have layers.
Yeah, like
So
a
does Smash
parfait.
Mouth.
That's 2 Shrek references already. We're what, 20 minutes in? Let's see if we can get a third.
Let's see if we
Let's
can
do
get
it.
him.
Let's do it.
Just work on it, workshop it. We cut to, during this scene, Mother's Milk does get a phone call. He's got a great ringtone. It's Rick Astley, right?
Yes.
And I guess it was his ex that had called him. So he meets at his apartment with his ex, and his daughter has been violent and rude. She's really worried about her stepdad, Todd, who his ex had broken up with. And so she asked him to go find him.
She told me to eat a dick.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's just being a teenager.
At a certain point, you
Did
just
you ever
start
tell
using that.
Suzanne to eat a dick?
I don't think I said specifically eat a dick, but I'm
Eat
sure
a bag of dicks.
eat a plethora of dicks.
Yeah, myriad dicks. Just chow down.
Go
No,
get a pallet of dicks.
The dick buffet. The Golden Corral of dicks.
I send her a link. to dicks.
The dick fountain.
Yeah.
Go to the Ponderosa of Peen and have your fill.
That's a localized joke, I think.
Is Ponderosa very local?
I don't know how big of a franchise that was.
I mean, it's a dead franchise now.
yeah,
so.
for sure.
Madison, do you remember Ponderosas?
I think that
No.
was before Madison's
There you go.
time.
I was going to say.
yeah.
It's
No,
before
I have
Madison's
no idea what you're
time.
talking about.
I don't even think they had a buffet. It was a steakhouse, wasn't it?
This is a buffet.
Was it?
Yeah, your boy went there for his birthday a couple times when he was a kid.
Is this a restaurant?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a buffet.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Ponderosa,
There was
baby.
at least like 4 or
Ponderosa.
5 in the area, like
Yeah.
in the 90s.
It was like when Pizza Hut was cool,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
kind of
I
era.
remember those.
Those still exist, goddammit.
They do.
We cut to Homelander, who seems to be having like a nightmare of all the bad shit he's done throughout all of the seasons, culminating in his long gray pube.
I just love that
That's
that's
so-
the period of his nightmare. Like everything he should ever feel guilty or haunted by, none of it compares
Plus,
to the
dun, dun.
long white pube.
I mean, I get it. He's aging. He's running out of time, and he's not keeping his junk manicured.
No.
On top of everything else, that's worse.
You
It's
know,
called box dye.
I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Can he do manscaping, or is his hair like
Too strong to
too
be trimmed.
strong to be trimmed with mere mortal razors?
I don't know. He would need like adamantium.
Could he laser them off
Oh yeah,
with his eyes? He's
Sure.
that'd be risky.
yeah.
Can you imagine?
He can't really get the.
It's hard enough to shave your balls.
That's true, but he probably can't get into the nooks and crannies very well.
Is that like, I'm picturing a Compound V like side effects commercial, and it's like, you will not be able to cut your pubes.
I wouldn't do it then.
Right.
It wouldn't be worth my
You will
slow mo
have
power.
excessive body hair.
Is it the voiceover guy that talks really fast at the end of the commercial?
Yes. Excessive body hair, excessive length in pubes.
Won't be
gray
able to cut it with
pubes.
your eye lasers.
It's wild, man.
Diarrhea.
Not worth it. I
Your
can't.
eyelashes will become too long that you can't see.
I can't afford to lose that much length.
No.
Just can't. It's not worth the slow mo power.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be worth it.
We can,
No sleep till.
oh, okay. You're bringing it back.
Yeah.
That's how I walk into the
feel me
bedroom. Yeah. She's just sitting there watching me like,
Waiting.
Any minute now.
but it looks epic to me. We cut to the deep on the news. Remember, his wife had published that tell-all expose about him trying to have a threesome
Deeper.
with the octopus. He's denying that and completely using common press misogyny, right?
It's
She's
just hilarious.
hysterical,
How he's
emotional.
Like,
Yes.
This is a racist rumor. Like she.
Because he's a soup, yeah.
Yeah.
Or not only that, but a half fish.
Oh, I thought he was. That's actually probably what he meant. I was thinking like she hates fish, and because fish are people to him, like that's why I think he was going. But I think you're probably more correct that he's a superhero.
Somewhere between that is the truth.
I do
But
love-
also, there was a great bit, I'm
That's
sorry,
so funny.
where he's like, plus she pooped in my bed. a Johnny Depp reference. Like this, like I'm saying, season 4 is on fire already.
All right. I love how with the
Pooped in
deep
my bed.
storyline in season 3, like season 3 and the deep specifically did to bestiality what Game of Thrones did to incest. Where it was just like, oh, I'm rooting for those crazy kids, the deep and the octopus Ambrosius.
Kinda.
Maybe.
I'm rooting for like
Love.
Damon and Rhaenyra more than say Deep and Ambrosius.
Different strokes.
That's fair. Not that he's any worse of a character than Damon. It's just
Oh, he's worse of a character than Damon.
I think he's worse of a character.
I mean, Damon sucks, but the deep is worse.
I think the deep has like no intellectual contribute.
He has
Is
no
not able-
redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it. I'm just glad you guys did.
What, that the deep has no redeeming qualities?
No, that Damon's better than him.
Oh, well, yeah, he is.
Thank
I
you.
think so.
Thank you guys. We cut to Ashley, the head Ashley, not the assistant Ashley. There's 2 Ashleys now. Don't forget that. And she's in the boardroom. She's telling Homelander we need new members of the 7 nominated. And I love how in the background of this whole scene, Black Noir is just back.
there.
What?
And I'm sure we're going to get more of that explanation. We get a little bit of it explained later in this episode. It's clearly not him, obviously because he's dead, but
Yeah.
also he talks.
Yeah.
So they've got some kind of superhero fake Black Noir, which is great. But I love how it's just there unexplained for a while.
When we were, because the camera's focused on the deep, who's like explaining what a butterface is to Ashley.
Thank you. Yes, I got it.
Thank you, I got it. And we're all like watching it together, and then Black Noir just casually walks past in the frame, and all of us were like, oh,
What?
It's like, that's Black Noir. What's he doing?
What's he doing back
Love that
there?
guy.
Right here.
I also love the bit where when he's explaining the butterface, it's clearly, it's a misogynist statement that's telegraphed. And Ashley's like, ugh. And then cuts to the next woman and Ashley is also misogynist. She's like, oh, not this fucking whore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, yes, I love this show so much.
So good.
So they're going through all the different candidates and Homelander is disgusted. I'm surrounded by sycophants and imbeciles. And the bit where the Deep says, I'm sorry, man, just everything you say is so smart.
You're just making, I'm sorry, sir, you're just making a lot of great points.
It's so great. And so he says, you know what? Blow A Train.
Yeah.
Suck his dick. And I love that when it cuts to Ashley, she's like, all right.
No, but the deep pulls your power and like slowly gets up and walks over to A Train.
I thought you were talking about my other power.
The physical comedy of the Deep standing up and like reluctantly walking over to him is so funny.
Yeah. And even A Train, like, oh man.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sexuality is a spectrum, right, bro?
Yeah.
He's like, get off your knees. Homelander's disgusted that he was actually going to do it. Like, you guys just do whatever I say, which is,
the Deep's like,
he dug this grave. He's been like willy-nilly murdering people who didn't do what he said for years,
Yeah.
But now he's backed himself into a corner. He's got no one to actually speak up and help him.
And then as he's leaving the room, he's like, I got to carry this whole entire company on my fucking shoulders. And Ashley's like, you're absolutely right. Wait, right?
yeah.
She starts twitching because she's afraid of death at every moment. And what the country looks like right now, or at least the city, is Starlighters versus home teamers. It's politically divided because Starlight's very vocal, especially for holding him accountable for his murder publicly. And it's very much a left versus right thing going on.
I think they should workshop the term home teamers. Just saying.
I
think they got something better in there. I don't think home teamers is the one.
Do you have an idea, or are you just saying that?
I'm just saying, like, even Homelanders are even better. Like, just make it plural. Like, even that's
Well, it's American. It's like the kind of thing they would do. Like,
home teamers.
We're on the home team. It's baseball reference.
Like, yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Home team.
Third base.
Yeah. If you ain't first, you're last.
Home run.
Oh.
Superheroes were cool till they got woke.
And then they went broke.
That's right. That's true. And Annie is practicing her new flying ability at the warehouse. She's able to fly for about 33 seconds. And in this scene, Huey gets a call from, strangely, Simon Pegg and doesn't answer it because he's not a Shaun of the Dead fan.
Yeah, it's weird. If I ever got a call from Simon Pegg, I would answer.
He liked my tweet once and I was hyped.
Yeah.
At least consider it.
Yeah.
Remember I sent you that picture when he liked it was an Instagram video.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Simon Pegg liked that shit.
Yeah.
Sent it to you immediately.
Ooh.
You were like, go, buddy.
I was proud of you.
That is an important thing in one's life. Where were we at here? Oh, he hangs up on his dad. Huey hangs up on his dad. And they're going back to the drawing board. Huey's trying to cheer Frenchie up. He's doing a terrible job. We'll probably never get that close to her again. We probably ruined our only chance, but we'll figure it out, buddy. They don't know how to kill her. She might be invulnerable, and they don't know how to get close to her a second time, but that's still their mission. And Annie and everyone but Huey, let me put it, I'm not going to blame it all on Annie. She's just the one that speaks up. Everybody but Huey wants Butcher off the team. As soon as he walks out, he compromised them. He made the mission almost
unsuccessful.
Well, unsuccessful for sure, but almost got them all killed. Like, you're the only one that wants him here, buddy. But he owes Butcher, he's very close to him. Butcher saved his life. It's always been wee Huey.
He's
and
a Butcher. Image of Lenny.
That's true. We cut to a meeting with Victoria. My note says Vought Video.
Yeah, they're in it looks like a rundown Blockbuster, but it's
Vought Video is the store. That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, what
it's
video
like a
did they play?
Blockbuster adjacent version of,
Which is interesting because has Vought been around that long? I guess so, yeah. Because he's from the 40s, Soldier Boy.
Yeah, Soldier Boy was a Vought person as well.
Well, they were testing Compound V during World War II. So it's been around for a minute.
Even back to VHS, they've been around.
I just like the idea of Stan Edgar just in the 90s being like, the video stores have to go. They're not bringing in any money.
Our profits are down 82%.
The real is streaming. Vought Plus is where we need to be going.
Vetlix.
Voughtlix. Voughtlix.
Not Vetlix.
We'll send the DVDs to them.
I don't like Voughtlix.
People are lazy.
I don't think that works. I don't think that works as well.
We'll have the Supes deliver the DVDs
Oh,
to them.
A-Train's just running.
Honestly,
They put all the speedsters
that would be
too.
a cool bit of just like Supes doing normal
Name
jobs.
things,
Yeah.
door dashing and shit.
Door dashing, yeah.
They're terrible. With
Oh my God. If A-Train delivered me DoorDash food, I would so give him low stars. Like, didn't follow directions. This is a no knock, no contact delivery.
It'd be so hot and fresh, though.
It would be.
It'd be amazing.
But it'd be covered in blood. Because of all the people he killed on
Yeah.
the way there.
Ran through Robin on the way.
Literally.
Rexy, be
This
destroyed.
pizza tastes a little irony.
So Butcher has called a secret meeting with Victoria Newman, and he wants to work together with her. He's going behind everybody's back to get Ryan back safely. She says, I'll accept your deal if you get the footage from the orphanage that Huey has over my head from him. Those are my terms.
Between a cock and an old place.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He was so British that I didn't understand it.
Cock and an odd place.
Cock in an
Or
old place.
is it an ard place, like hard?
Ooh, maybe.
Cock
That
and
could have
a
been.
hard
There,
place.
there weren't subtitles on our
I think it's
know.
I think it's a cock and an ard place because he says Omelander. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Omelander. Om.
Odd.
I'm from a place in the island.
Did he
Doesn't
say
H's.
that she's actually cooking up some sort of virus to kill Homelander, but it's not working out?
I know you didn't watch Gen V. I was going to save that for the Vought Vault.
Oh, okay. Save it. Save
Yep.
it.
That's where that's from.
Save it.
Save it.
Save it.
This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Better help.
You know, Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light. We keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. You know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That's sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
It's the month of June, and it's a very special month because our Patreon tiers just got a huge upgrade at patreon.com/streamingthings. And I want to thank the very special patrons who signed up to be super patrons of Streaming Things, keeping the lights on for us day in and day out. So thank you so much to Album Stinkpot, Digimon Digital Monsters with a much longer name, but I'm only saying those 3 words, Dylan Dunkleys, Stanton Valentino, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Parmesan, Sunshine, Ashley Hazen, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, Emily Scarano, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bloff Pum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Wendy O'Laughlin, Big Butthorn, Conrad, Jer Lektanovich, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elpander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, John Collins, Trisha Bueller, Sun-Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rowe, Jen Robinson, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen V, Casey McCain, and Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting Streaming Things. And with that, let's get back to this episode.
We cut back to Huey checking his voicemails. He says, fuck, and runs off. His dad is in the hospital. He has had a stroke, and he missed his last call. That's the worst.
So sad.
Been there. They want Starlight at the Starlight house. They want her to put on her Starlight outfit again. Like Annie sounds like a cookie factory or whatever, like Annie's house. We need you to be Starlight to help raise more funds because she's got this foundation called the Starlight House that I think is serving underprivileged youth or something like that.
It's a safe space for, underprivileged youth. That's what the tagline says in the wall behind him.
You did some good research, buddy.
Or it's a pedophile ring.
According to the home teamers.
That serve pizza, and underneath it is some sort of gate where they human traffic children.
What's that stuff? Adrenochrome?
Adrenochrome?
Isn't that what they think Hillary Clinton's like drinking from the kids or something?
Oh, Jesus. Dude, that's so many levels deep into QAnon. I don't know, man.
Something like that. I think it's adrenochrome.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought it was just blood.
You got to watch the documentary, guys. Come on.
Okay.
You're not up on what's really going on, is what it seems like.
Just do your research. All right?
Just do your fucking research. It's all over Facebook. If you know where to look.
Yeah, I just did a quick
Facebook
Google
is
search.
my
No,
truth.
don't do that.
I did a quick Google search of adrenochrome.
You're done.
And the first thing is a headline from Wired.com. The dark virality of a Hollywood blood harvesting conspiracy.
See? Now they're going to know you're onto them. You're toast.
Oh, Jesus.
Now you're going to get ads.
Do you want to stop the pedophile ring of the left-wing media?
Yes.
Donate $50 to Donald Trump.
That's how you stop it.
Oh, no.
That's how you stop it. Where are we at here?
$50 whole dollars.
And we find out in this scene that Frenchie is hot on Colin. Uh-oh.
Spicy.
Kamiko kind of sees that go down. We don't know what's about to happen. Is there going to be some tension there? We don't see. We don't know. Meanwhile, Homelander has found more gray pubes. That's the worst. This one was more curly, not as lengthy.
Oh, that was curly. That one had some personality to it.
And said, I'm here.
And he's looking through the 7 candidates. By the way, I did take a photo. If you guys didn't catch it, there's some fun stuff there. If you guys just want to
of the different candidates,
we'll do that in the Vought Vault.
Okay.
But he decides to go pay a visit to Sage, known as
Sister Sage.
But that was Vaught's suggestion because they always have to call attention to her race. So he visits her. She's basically Sherlock. That's her power. Is that she's Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock? She goes to her mind palace.
Yeah, I wrote down that because he comes in incognito and he's like, all right, do your little thing on me. And through the powers of perception, I wrote in my notes, she does a mentalist on him, or a psych on him, or a monk on him, or a light-o-me on him.
So is her power the ability to retain and read information and then just immediately retain it, or is it her power is just being super intelligent?
It's like, have you seen any of those shows he just mentioned? Like, it's a parlor trick, really. And he even says that, but it's like I can tell that.
I've seen Sherlock.
I think that's some of her
like,
power, but I think to Madison's point, I think it is she legitimately because they call her the smartest person alive.
Yeah.
So she is like insanely intelligent.
But like how it manifests as a superpower would be like she'd see Steve and be like, I can tell by the fecal particles on your middle finger that you play with your booty hole a lot. And he'd be like, oh my God, I thought I washed it 6 times. Oh, you did.
I can tell by the calluses in your hands that you've been overwashing.
Right.
But not in the right place.
That's right.
Okay. Because I was a little confused. I was like, is she just able to because you see in her room, in her apartment, that she has all of these just stacks of books. So I'm like, oh, is she just able to retain all of this information and then kind of compartmentalize and use all of that as her power? Or
I wonder if we'll see a scene where she's reading a book, but it's in movies where she's just flipping through the pages really quick and you know it all.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I wonder if she can read fast or something, but she's definitely got that Sherlock Holmes parlor trick thing where, you're missing a lot of eyelashes on your left eye. That's a sign of trauma as a child. And there's no pictures of your mother here, so she must be the cause. And they can just kind of notice that shit immediately.
Sure.
Do you think she can do the thing that Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock does where it's slow motion?
That's my power.
Do with the leg. I could probably go for it. And then she plays out the scenario in her head and then she makes it happen.
Yeah.
Yes, I imagine so.
But then Cherry Pie's playing in the background.
Yeah.
And you're walking up to her at the same time.
She's my cherry pie. Pour some sugar on me. I pick the lamest songs.
And she's like, interesting choice of music. Does that mean that you're going through something?
Girls.
Only picking 80s hair metal bands. You must be a home teamer.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's very perceptive.
Got him.
Very perceptive. Ted Nugent.
The Nuge. Well, the Nuge is definitely a home teamer.
Fever. But yeah, she does the Sherlock thing. He basically asks for her help, and she says, look, here's what I would do. All democracies automatically fail because people are stupid.
True.
So what you need to do is let them tear each other apart and swoop down and save them. That'd be where nothing, but also nothing's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, fuck that. Who cares?
I just want to run everything.
It's a great scene because the idea is that she's kind of like a Ozymandias kind of character where like she's so smart that she's kind of bad too. Just bored at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea. We'll see where that goes with Sage.
Yeah, she's definitely a very interesting character. And then the
He's like, I'm tired of being alone.
the fact that they put her with Homelander is very fascinating. I'm very excited to see where those two go.
Because they're very polar
different.
opposite. Yeah. So
On paper, you would think, oh, these people would never work together at all because Homelander's Homelander and he's a dick and a racist and
Well, he's
a
lonely. He
misogynist.
misses Black Noir. Everybody around him sucks. And I think he's been watching the Planet of the Apes movies a lot. And he's thinking Supes together strong.
Yeah. Soup, no, kill Soup.
No, he didn't go that far.
I am curious
He's more
though
of a
because
He missed that
he's
scene.
more of a Koba.
I am curious though because she inherently seems like she's better than, like, I feel like she feels she's better than him, like more intelligent. I mean, she kind of alludes to that.
She
too.
definitely is. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of like,
I think he made a mistake.
Sure.
She's got a plan for how to get out of this situation that doesn't involve him as well, I bet.
Yeah, I think like by the end of the season, she's going to make a play where she kind of takes over and she's the one in charge, whereas he's not.
There's only 5 seasons of The Boys, I think.
she'll Professor Exit or
So,
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I do love how, he immediately is like, I want you to join the 7. She's like, oh no,
No.
like we would not
Fuck
work
that.
well together.
Yeah.
You have an ego. And he's like, well, hey, if you
I'm
want
smart.
if you want to stay in here and smell like Taco Bell and loneliness all day, that's your right. And I was like, hey, that's the name of my fragrance I'm selling on the Streaming Things merch store, sir.
Taco Bell and loneliness.
Yeah. By Steve.
By Stu. We cut to Huey, who runs into Butcher. He's at the warehouse or their home base, late. Couldn't sleep, he says. He's playing darts. Huey tells him his dad had a stroke. And there's a moment where first we
fuck
see
me.
Butcher shaking, from his own neurological issues. He gives Huey a hug and you're like, oh shit, he does care. But no, he's just doing that to filch the USB drive. By the way, I haven't seen a flash drive in a long time.
I know.
Was that the fancy hard flash drive that
was
was
kinda
giving
like-
a secret code for Mother's Milk to log into the CIA earlier? Like
I
there was
believe
like
so,
there was a
yeah.
little code that flashed up, and that's how we was able to log in.
Maybe.
Yeah.
'cause
But I
he-
like how it had the Billy Joel keychain.
Yes, of course. Well, it has to have a Billy Joel key.
does
Well,
love
I
Billy
think that's
Joel.
how it would, for the viewer, be easily identifiable as Huey's.
For
'Cause
sure.
I think before it wasn't easily
What do
identified
you
as
think?
his.
What do you think Mother's Milk keychain on his flash drive would be? Or like Frenchie's,
Just a picture of his daughter, maybe. Frenchie
Yeah.
will be a picture of Colin's dick.
for sure.
Frenchie would have a keychain of Orville Peck.
Or a baguette.
Just a bread. Just bread.
Just a loaf. We cut to MM looking for Big Dick Todd, which has been a running joke throughout the episode because he talks to his ex and he's like, "Wow, I know that you were with him because he's so good to our daughter. Couldn't be the sex, couldn't be the D." She's like, "That happened to me once."
What?
Yeah, not in the same way, and obviously, no, I'm not. I'm an open guy.
Yeah.
We were walking down the street and her, my wife's, at the time we first started to date, her ex-boyfriend was like a real turd. We'll just say, I don't want to put a business out there,
stinker.
but not a good guy, right?
Stinker.
And I was like, man, they're all like that, just little dick makes them mean and, abusive. And I kind of like side-eyed her and she just gave, listeners, you won't be able to see with YouTube, she went, it's like a...
I think everyone knows the look
Like,
just based off the sound.
She's just not gonna lie, kind of,
Yeah.
even though he's not a good person.
It's not little.
And I was just like, oh man, it's the opposite. I'm the little dick. I'm the nice guy. Oh
I'm the little dick that treated her right.
no. That's a better way to be, though.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's hilarious. So we've got this Big D Todd thing running through this episode, and even Huey. Frenchie picks up on that pretty quick. Like, wow, that guy with your ex?
I'm glad that they kind of bring mention to it because, like last season, every time they would cut to Todd, I had the same thought. Like, why the fuck is she with this
yeah.
dude?
Yeah, he's a real Ted.
Yeah.
Especially after, Marvin. My guy
Right.
Marvin is strapped.
Right?
What a handsome man. Even with the mustache.
Gorgeous.
Giving
Let me
out
ride
rides
it.
left and yeah. I was
I'm getting the fast pass to be first. All right, I want on.
Madison, what were you going to say?
I don't even know.
We were talking about important stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
But there's this amazing scene in the back of the van where Kimiko communicates to Frenchie that she saw him with Colin. And just to be clear, I love you. This is never going to happen. So don't worry about me. Go be happy. And I thought it was a very touching moment.
Yeah.
Because that's not, I thought, it was going to be one of those lame B plots where she feels threatened by Colin or something like that. And we wouldn't get a resolution until episode 6, but they just nipped that in the bud. Hey,
well, again,
love is love.
I still ship them.
Right. I mean, I'm all for like shipping two characters that work well together. And obviously they have a very good chemistry on screen, but like, I feel like we're getting to a point in media where it's like, just because you have a man and a woman character that have really good chemistry does not mean that they need to end up in a romantic relationship.
I'm really excited for the idea of just a platonic love there.
Yeah. And I think thus far it has worked, and it has, at least for me, it hasn't reflected a romantic relationship. Like I can see how people interpret it as such because they have amazing chemistry. But I think it's also really cool that Kimiko's like, no, I see you being happy with somebody else. And I fully support that, especially because it is with a man. And I love that.
And she was so close with her brother. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that maybe Frenchie would fill a lot of that relationship.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For her, I don't know. I like it. We'll see where it goes. But for now, Colin's in, literally.
Colin.
They do spot Todd, who's there with Sage. And Todd is there as one of the premier, well-known hardcore home teamers. That's why he's been invited to meet with Homelander. We cut to the Homelander meeting. We're there with the fake Black Noir, A-Train, and the Deep. And Homelander gives them all a baseball bat and says to beat them to death, the 3 home teamers.
You're going to be martyrs to the greatest cause on earth, he says.
The Deep says, oh, I get it. This is one of those things where you want me to say no. No, I don't.
Do it. And then Black Noir is the one that
he's first,
does it first.
Or whoever that is. Whatever your real name is.
Whoever's in there.
Yeah, he does.
Black Noir in air quotes.
He beats that guy to death immediately, pops his brains open like a can of biscuits. And then the Deep just goes all in. He hits him way too many times.
Yeah.
And A-Train does not, which I feel like there's still some redeeming qualities.
Oh, yeah. He's on his arc for sure. He's been on that ever since Annie saved his life.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get there last season, but he didn't.
They're dragging that out.
He didn't make the full leap.
Yeah.
Well, he's still upset about the Blue Hawk situation. You know, the same thing he did to Robin happened to his brother, basically, a Supe that was never punished. So he had to take him out himself. But yeah, he hesitates, ultimately doesn't do it. Black Noir ends up killing 2 of them. But they're all dead, including Todd. Big D Todd goes down.
Oh, no.
Big bummer.
We lost a big one.
R.I.P.
The Homelander trial verdict is the next scene. And he is...
Oh, this was the thing where, like, after they kill Todd, is it, like, right after that? And Homelander's like, okay, guys, I want you guys to stay here and wait further instructions.
Yes.
When they leave, the Black Noir
that's where
is
he
like,
speaks.
He's like, that was fucked up, guys.
Yeah.
He's like this Brooklyn guy.
I almost wonder why he was waiting, because at that point, you know, was Ashley in there?
Yeah, nobody's in there really. I don't think.
Yeah. So I'm like, was he waiting for Homelander to
It was just
leave?
for our benefit. It was a big reveal.
He
Yeah.
he might be waiting for Homelander to leave, because I could see Homelander being the type who's like,
You're not allowed to speak.
You're not allowed to speak. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair. To be my
now-
friend.
So then, you know, A-Train and the Deep are in on the fact that like this.
Yeah,
is
they
not-
know he's not Black Noir.
Yeah.
Or they think he just started talking.
There's like, what happened to Black Noir? He went on sabbatical.
He's all
and-
talky now.
It would have been funny if they stopped and they just went, the fuck?
The fuck?
He's real chatty now.
The hell?
Well, Homelander told them that he killed Black Noir last season.
Yes.
as well. So they know the real one's dead.
But not the public doesn't. But the verdict is in. Homelander is ruled not guilty, and Sage is outside dressed as a starlighter, and she starts a riot, throws some coffee on a guy and calls him a fascist.
Fuck you, fascist.
And everybody starts beating the shit out of each other. And meanwhile, they call A-Train. He brings in the dead bodies to sit in the back to look like dead. Well, they are dead home teamers, but
What was her plan if would it just have been the same thing if he was guilty? Would she have just still chucked the coffee and said, fuck you, fascists, to get him going?
I don't think there was any chance of him being guilty.
I just like the idea of somebody else on the other side also creepily walking around like in their home teamer outfits, and they're looking at each other like, you, me. Oh, I'd do it if I'm guilty.
Well, her plan doesn't.
Not guilty, it's you.
Her plan doesn't work if he's guilty, because then they have to put him in prison. And then she can't like team up with Homelander to rule the world.
There's appeal processes that last.
That's why
months.
there's no chance he would be guilty, because what would they do? You know, they'd have to.
Yeah.
That's true.
They just have to. It's all a farce, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Even without his political power and stuff, which he also has. So yeah, the riot breaks out, and Frenchie sees Colin there getting his ass beat by home teamers, and he kisses him when he saves him. Right. Starlight shows up, tries to stop everybody. Her friend Ciara gets stomped, and the 3 dead bodies of the home teamers are revealed. Everybody blames the Starlighters. That was their plan all along. And MM sees Todd there dead, and he's like, "Shit, my daughter's gonna be super sad."
Yeah.
We cut to Ryan celebrating with a couple glasses of milk with his old dad, Homelander, but he's not feeling celebratory. Homelander says, "Hey, man, we're supposed to share everything together until we basically merge into one being."
It's a weird thing to say.
And then
I love how as soon as he says it, he knows it sounds dumb. Because
Yeah.
he does that weird little like, yeah, I said it. Okay.
that's even lamer than Smash Mouth, isn't it? And he
Speak
says,
for yourself.
Ryan says, "I don't want Butcher to die." And that annoys Homelander to no end, right?
My mom loved him.
We get a brief scene of the Deep and his octopus friend Ambrosius. And the little statue of the Deep in the aquarium.
That was so funny.
One of those treasure chests that opens and bubbles come out, I imagine.
Oh my gosh, this scene cracked me up. The fact that he's trying to wash the blood off of his gloves while he's wearing them as if he's washing his hands.
Right.
It's
right.
so funny. And then yeah, the octopus that he had he tried to do a threesome with his wife.
He had to eat it.
Yeah. Well, he had to eat Timothy, but not Ambrosius.
Oh, was Ambrosius the one he was banging?
No, Ambrosius was the one that he had seen in the fish tank when he was having sex with his wife, and he was like, "Oh, I bet you like all those arms." But then he eats Timothy, but then later on he's like, "Honey, I think we should open up our relationship," and he pulls out Ambrosius.
Okay, I missed the timeline on that, but I knew that he ate one and he fucked one.
Yeah, yeah, he ate Timothy.
Oh, R.I.P. Timothy. That was one of the most shocking scenes in all of The Boys, but it was in all the things that happened in this show. Many of them were gross and violent, but that was crazy.
Yeah, that was honestly that took me back because he's praying.
He's praying. Yeah, so he's still there with Ambrosius, and then we see Frenchie and Colin clearly had some sex, but Frenchie looks like
Get it?
Not okay.
I couldn't really tell what his motives were because he walked over to Colin's, I guess, like dresser and looked at the image of him graduating with his family. And I'm almost kind of like.
I took that to be like, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I took that to be like, my life is fucked up. I work for the CIA.
Yeah.
Everybody dies all the time. You're a super normal, good dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bring you into my shit. Kind of like a Maeve thing.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that because my immediate thought, I guess, was just like, oh, was there like a hidden mission here? Like, is Colin a part of something we don't know about? And
So I didn't want to say, but do you remember when everybody got a text, including Sage? Or no, it was everybody.
It was A-Train, Black Noir, and Deep.
Right before the verdict, they started getting texts, and the A-Train's was instructions to bring the bodies. Colin also got a text right before the verdict was announced. It made a point of showing him look at his phone, and it makes me think he's in like the group chat. He's a spy for the home teamers or something.
Was that before everybody else in the because there was a lot of shots of everyone else in the crowd getting.
Yeah, but it never revealed what that was, and I wonder where they show Colin looking. You know what I mean? And it makes me think he's like on the Sage crew.
Because I think the text to A-Train was definitely like an instruction to bring the body down. But I feel like the
bodies hit the floor.
the other texts were like
drowning pool fans, the home teamers.
Or the announcement of the verdict was like the not guilty, and so that's what everybody was getting.
Maybe
that's what I thought was because a lot of these like high profile court cases, especially the ones that don't necessarily let like camera media in there. There's news people who are like on Twitter tweeting this everything. So maybe it was just people were getting notifications.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then like one person in the crowd.
I don't trust that Colin. I feel like he's going to betray him. He's going to say, "Hey, I don't want you in my life. It's too dangerous." He's going to be like, "No, I'll die for you. I'm in." And he's like, "Oh, okay." But then he's bad, and it's like double heartbreaking.
Right.
And Kimiko's got to put him down.
Exactly.
With her baby hand.
Yeah, maybe not. We don't know. But that's what happens there. Bing, bang, boom. We cut to Huey with his dad. He's listening to the voicemail of the call he did not answer and pledging, hey, if you wake up, please, I'll watch that stupid show, Crisscross, whatever it was, Cross something, or listen to the James Patterson novel, whatever it is. And then his mom shows up. We've never met her.
What?
She's been gone. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then speaking of moms, we cut to Butcher, and it looked. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention that Butcher's been hallucinating, talking to somebody the entire time, which happens in this show a lot. There's one in Gen V, and then it happens to Black Noir too.
It's season 3.
But Butcher's been hallucinating Becca the whole time. But she's kind of like his conscience, right? Like, you're going to fuck over Huey?
Yeah. She's like exploiting his subconscious thoughts of just like the conflict going on with his head, which
All of his guilt.
I took the kind of the showing of Rebecca with the hallucination almost as kind of like, is Huey also hallucinating his mom? It's kind of like a...
That would be wild. I don't think so. I think his mom's really there.
I think his mom's really there.
It's just a weird, that's why.
Yeah, because his mom just left he and his dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as far as we know, nothing happened to her, but we don't know exactly why she left.
I don't remember any casting announcements other than Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but I wonder who the mom is. Be funny.
It's just Becca.
I'm also your mother.
Or what if it's Billy's mom and then it's like, you're spitting in it, you're Lenny. Oh shit, you are Lenny.
Oh shit. You're Lenny's twin.
Oh.
And then it turns into a parent trap situation. And they were raised separately.
Yeah.
Diabolical.
Diabolical.
Too bad we're not the writers. This will be a great show. Turned into a soap opera. And he's been in a coma the whole time.
What?
So he ultimately decides, or we don't know yet, but we think he's sending the file that was asked of him to
Got Huey's files for you right here.
Victoria Newman. She clicks it, and it's a hairy butthole.
But not only is it a hairy butthole, but it is a spread cheeks, knuckles white, spread cheeks.
Do you think he Googled that pic, or that's his arsehole?
I wonder if they sent that actress like a legit shocking photo, because her reaction to it
was
is
good.
so genuine.
It was good.
Like, oh God. Like, it was such a good reaction.
But also she kind of respected it.
Yeah.
You know?
She's like, son of
But
a
it was
bitch.
also like a quick cutaway too. Like it was a quick reaction and then a cutaway. So I wonder if it was a general reaction because it didn't linger for very long.
Yeah.
I love when they do shit like that. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
What if he had sent her the thing that you accidentally sent your boss a couple years ago?
Just a big wiener, yeah.
oh no.
I never told you that story?
No.
Yeah, I sent, well, I don't want to say the joke. You know, listeners that don't know me will be like, damn. So this was like the height of COVID, or right after things had started to calm down. I got a brand new job is when I left my sales job and I started working in the industry. I just quit. And my boss was like a 4'11", 60-year-old woman, sweet as can be. I found out she's tough as nails and doesn't give a fuck. But at the time, I just thought she was a sweet lady. You know what I mean? And I had the job for maybe 3 days. I just sent in my onboarding paperwork. My Jimmy on the show
Who the fuck is Jimmy?
sent me an article that said new COVID outbreak, all restaurants and hospitals to shut down. You know, it affected my job because my job is driving around going places.
Yeah.
So I just saw the headline and copied and sent it to Joan. But it was one of those joke links where when you click it, it's just a giant dick. Oh my God. Just one of those big, veiny, triumphant bastards. And like, so I sent it to her and like was like, okay, nailed it. Doing research already of benefit to my company. And then I remembered who sent it to me and how little they care about society.
Oh.
And was like, wait a second. And no. And I literally, it was like a movie. I dropped my phone to the floor.
Your superpower was activated. You went,
No. Pour some sugar on me. Just super song that doesn't make any sense. And I text Jimmy and I was like, you just got me fired. And he was like, what'd you do?
oh my God.
Why did you open it first? Like, I don't know.
That's terrifying.
It's funny
I'm
because
sorry that happened to you.
right after that, Twitter started that thing where it was like, to help misinformation not spread, it would say, would you like to read the article first? Remember that? And I would think, yeah, it probably should because it might be a dick.
Man.
But she never acknowledged it. I text her
That's a strong
I was
woman
like,
right there.
don't open that. It's a virus. and she sent back 3 laughing emojis and said, okay, I won't open it.
Oh my
Meaning
God.
she totally had.
She definitely looked
But
at
I
it.
found out, I worked with her for years, and she was totally, like, she would have sent that to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chris,
yeah.
I thought you might like this.
She'd have been right. That was terrible.
That was hilarious.
good-
Thank you for sharing.
Good
I
first
appreciate
impression. But that's the end of the episode, is the butthole. So now it's time for our diabolical moments.
Fucking diabolical.
Our top 3 favorite moments of the
diabolical.
episode. Madison, what are you going to go for number 3?
I feel like mine are kind of silly, goofy, but these are the ones that brought me the most joy. Number
If
3.
they don't spark joy, leave them out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
My number 3, honestly, purely because it got such a big reaction out of Steve, is when Homelander was saying to Ryan, like taking him out of the kitchen, was like, "Come on, I don't want to miss Smash Mouth." And I just heard like the cackle of Steve laughing behind me, and it just made me laugh and it made me smile. But also, I think it just encompasses who Homelander is, to have such like this crazy serious like moment with Butcher, and then just to be like, "Come on, I don't want to miss Smash Mouth." Like, it was just such the juxtaposition of like both of his attitudes,
And the fact that it's Smash Mouth.
Literally,
It's so
literally.
Homelander to be so
Don't
not
be.
on the pulse.
Somebody once. That could be your next slow motion song.
Yeah. That would be fire.
My number 3 is just, it's when Homelander goes and meets Sage incognito. Like, I don't know. I really like the dynamic between the two, and it's just it's interesting to get Homelander, this character that we know so well. He's horrifying, but put him in a situation where he's on the back foot, but not necessarily with someone who's antagonizing him. Because usually when he's on the back foot, it's against like Butcher or Maeve or someone who's like out to kill him. Sage is not to kill him. She's just like really, really smart, and he recognizes that. And for once, he's kind of like letting her shine. He's willing to let somebody, you know, step up and tell him what he needs to do, which is something that he's been struggling with this season because he's surrounded by imbeciles and sycophants. So it's just a really cool change in the dynamic of the show. And, you know, I really want to pause every frame of that scene and look at all the book titles in her apartment to try to like piece together what all's back there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love it.
That was a good one.
My number 3 is the butthole.
Oh,
Just the butthole.
just the butthole.
Not because of the hole, but it was a shocking, funny
Yeah,
moment.
when you paused it and you zoomed in, I was like, okay,
Yeah, you might have
thought that was weird.
This is making it tough.
I thought there was an Easter egg in there.
We're like, Kit, it's been 20 minutes. We got to record.
It's like, come on.
I can't put it any higher because it's a butthole. And then
Oh.
that might be weird.
So you.
But that's
Hey,
my
if
number
it
3.
gives you happiness.
It does spark joy. That was a chuckle moment. Madison, you have the butthole higher, don't you? Is that your number 1?
My number 2 is.
It'd be funny to put it number 2 for obvious reasons.
It's not my number 2. Missed opportunity there. But my number 2 is the Starlighters and the Home Teamers fight scene. I think it was a cool, I guess, penultimate moment. Kind of, we've built up to this. The verdict is set. The verdict, excuse me, is said. Verdict. And we get a lot of cool moments out of it. You know, we see kind of what the whole, we're killing these 3 guys, what that's for. We're getting Starlight to kind of come back into action from her hiatus that she clearly was having before. And then Frenchie and Colin kiss. Like, it was kind of like a bunch of different things happening at once. And I thought it was a good scene.
Steve, what about your number 2?
My number 2 is this scene with the
As
deep.
Frenchie would say, number 2.
Number 2.
Number dos. Number dos.
2. It's just 2.
Two.
Hot Shots Part 2.
Trois.
No, my second favorite scene of the episode is the Deep and Ambrosius. Which, you know, I always love weird oddball shit, and just the fact that we have an octopus that we can hear what it's saying now, because in the past we've always had to rely on the Deep sort of interpreting what he's hearing, and to be able to hear the actual octopus. And Madison, you said it sounds like Julie Andrews.
I was partially kidding, but
It kind of does. I was trying to figure out if who is the voice of this octopus, and I guess it's just too early. Like that information's not on the IMDb or anything, so I couldn't find out who it was. But it's and the fact that they included there's a little itty bitty deep figurine in her tank, and she's got like the tentacles holding it like on it, like
just like gripping it
so silly.
with their tentacles. Yeah.
So that's why that's my number 2. It's fun.
My number 2 has got to be Kimiko's strong hand. When she leaps out of the window in the slow-mo and she's got that regrowing tiny hand there, and Starlight is just shocked and can't grab it. It's not part of the plan.
I'm just picturing like when you're being silly goofy by yourself, or maybe this is just me, but you just like put your arm in your sleeve and you just have your like one hand dangling out like you look like a fin. You know what I'm talking about?
I've done that.
Like this.
I don't do that. I don't do that alone.
You do a little Nemo.
Well, maybe I fucking do it alone.
Why are you just doing that by yourself?
Because I
Why not?
like to have fun.
I like to party.
Myself.
When you're being silly goofy.
When you're being silly goofy and you let your subconscious just take over. But anyway, that's what it looked like. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your number 2
that's
moment.
a way better story than I could have pulled off.
It's not me accidentally sending a large dick to my boss.
Some of us party in different ways. That's how I'm silly goofy.
Oh, man.
Madison, what is your favorite moment?
It's the butthole.
It's the butthole.
It's such a diabolical moment. I don't know. It was
Diabolic hole.
so diabolical.
Do you think that was his butthole, or did he Google
I don't
search
think
a
it was
butthole
his.
and
It
send
wasn't
that?
his.
That's what I asked.
The lighting was too good for it to be
He
his.
had the flash on.
If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to go out to Walmart and get myself a nice little ring light.
An O-ring light.
Just so I can properly light my
No,
ring.
I think what he did, he was like, "Hey, Huey, come over here." Why did I turn to an Australian?
Nar.
Huey, come over here.
Oh
Bend
my
over.
God, guys.
Just bend over.
I knew it. I thought I could pull up the screeners and look at the credits. You'll never guess who Ambrosius is.
Who is it?
Wait.
Better than you could possibly imagine.
Give us a ballpark. Give us like a hint, because I do like this.
Very well-respected, famous actress.
Gillian Anderson. Am I close?
No, think more Wes Anderson.
Scarlett
Angelica
Johansson.
Houston.
No. Think,
Saoirse Ronan.
Tilda Swinton.
yes.
It's Tilda Swinton?
Yes.
Is it? That's so good.
We should have recognized her.
Oh, man. Wow.
Wow.
amazing.
That's hilarious.
I got so
Great.
excited. I was letting the credits play and I was like,
Tilda Swinton. Okay. But yeah, my number 1's the butthole. It just was funny.
it just was funny. What else can you say? That's what I was at a loss too. Like, what am I going to talk about the filmmaking of this? Steve, is your number 1 also the
metaphors
butthole?
of the butthole? No, my number 1 favorite moment was the boardroom scene.
You didn't have the butthole in there at all.
You guys are boring.
Oh, the choosing the 7. It's a great scene with
That's good.
the fucking sycophants joke. That was great.
The sycophants joke, Black Nor popping up and just being like, what? And then Ashley kind of being into it. Just that whole scene was just great from top to bottom.
That was a good one.
See, that's tough because my brain says that should have been on my list over the butthole, but also I'm like, should it?
Hey,
that shit was fire. You're number 1. I respect that.
It was just so unexpected. Like
Yeah.
I just was like, that's it.
honestly, I wish I could have bumped Homelander meeting Sage with the butthole. In retrospect, I think you guys made the right choice of putting it up there.
For sure. You were just too ashamed to be yourself.
I was.
I almost had Homelander pissing, the butthole, and the strong hand as my 3.
I think those are great.
Because that opening was such a great
That was
moment
a
for
great
Homelander.
shot. Yeah.
But I didn't want to have it just be a bunch of body parts that
Yeah,
make
who
me seem
cares?
weird.
Who cares?
And I'm not weird.
You're not weird. Live your truth.
But my
Sure.
favorite moment of the episode is actually quite a heartfelt one. It's Kimiko's blessing to Frenchie to follow his happiness and live his truth. Because coming from a character who's been so downtrodden and abused her entire life, and also had a chance at happiness and sacrificed it so she could be more useful to their lives, and now sacrificing again. It's great. It's very
that.
touching.
You love
Very
Kimiko.
touching.
And I'm obsessed with Karen Fukuhara. Kimiko's my favorite character.
I want more Kimiko musical numbers.
That was so good. I love a random musical and a non-musical show. Yeah. Lots of shows do that.
Very.
The Magicians had a great one every season. I talk about it all the time. Buffy did it a lot.
Famously, yeah.
I think Riverdale did it too. I wouldn't call it great.
They've done everything.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
But yeah, it was a great episode. But that brings us to our Vought Vault. Any kind of tidbits, Easter eggs, whatever that we want to pull out. Madison, do you got anything?
The only one that I pulled was when Homelander was visiting Sister Sage, and you saw all of the books. One of the books directly behind him while he was sitting was called Fraternity of the Stone, which I did a quick search, and I don't really know if it's relevant or if like there's a purpose.
It was like very visible.
It was kind of a quick synopsis of it. It's a book written by David Morrell. It is based in a remote monastery in Vermont. A mysterious man named Drew McLean has spent the previous 6 years doing penance for sins that he committed for his government.
Oh, yeah.
So a little on the line could be,
depends on what we find out about Sage later too, maybe.
Yes.
Ooh. 'Cause she was on one of my Vought Vaults is that she was on the Teenage Kicks, which is kind of like the Teen Titans. It's where she knows A-Train from, who was also from that crew.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Soldier Boy was on Payback, and they're the Seven. There's a bunch of different crews.
Yeah.
So maybe she has some like deep secrets from that part of her life or something.
Yeah. But that was kind of the only pool that I had aside from the music that we've kind of already discussed.
Steve?
So I'm a little embarrassed because I don't have like really any good Easter eggs because I haven't read
like Sex Pistols.
I haven't read the comics. I'm just like Sex
Butthole.
Pistols, yeah, buttholes. Rick Astley's playing. They mentioned Neverland Ranch. Like that's how odds. I went Stranger Things with my Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But the one I think that has the most value that I thought was interesting because this is a very political show, and I'm a huge president nerd, as you guys know. But the Springer Newman banner for their presidential race appears to be directly ripped off the Biden-Harris campaign posters because if you look, I'm going to show it to you guys, but the E in the Springer and Biden is a red 3 wavy flags. I think Springer has like a little square for like a blue square as well, but it's definitely clearly taken inspiration from that campaign poster.
That's what, Homelander calls them the libtards.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a lot of Trump stuff with the Homelander side of things as well. So.
For sure.
Great pull, Steve. The virus that Butcher talks about Newman banking on, it was developed in the Gen V show as part of the Godolphin University experiments that they were doing in the basement. And it's a virus that just shreds Supes and is only infectious to Supes and kills them. And so it's a way for people to fight back, but it would also be so highly contagious that it might just take out all the Supes if they ever let that virus go.
So, but it doesn't affect regular non-superhero people?
Does not. So it's a genocide tool that they've developed down there, but he claims it would be not strong enough to kill Homelander. I also saw Tech Knight, which is one of the funnier Supes from the comics. I don't know if he was ever in the show or not, but he's kind of a Batman because he's got like a little Robin with him and stuff. And like they get gross with it in the book because the books are fucking wild.
Yeah.
But Tech Knight was on the board as a potential 7 member there. And there was a bunch of other funny names.
I'm just picturing like a Geek Squad guy.
Yeah.
Like
it's TEK.
Oh. I was picturing TECH.
Oh, yeah. I see where you were going with that
Tech
for
Knight.
sure.
It's like, help me with my iPad. I can't log in. How do you turn this word into a PDF?
Help me mount my TV. Like Huey was doing for Mother's Milk. He was being a real Geek Squad there.
Yeah.
You got to click keep me logged in, which funny enough won't keep you logged in, which is so true.
Yeah, so true.
Yes.
So true.
Especially with the CIA. Joe Kessler, the character played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. In the comics, this isn't a spoiler, I don't think, because it's almost certainly not. The comics are so much different from the show.
Skip ahead a minute if you're worried.
He's a character called Monkey in the books. Joe Kessler is.
Played by Dev Patel.
Who? No.
That's Monkey Man.
That's Monkey Man.
You're right.
And it's not Hanuman. Who is a very nervous, like skittish, cowardly type person who's like terrified of people because he was raped in both ears by AIDS-infected monkeys. And if that gives you an idea of what the comics are like versus the show, I told you guys it's just a bunch of shit purposefully to be as shocking as possible. It's fucking insane, the comics. But also he's got a...
It's insane.
He's...
I don't know if I've ever heard that combination of words in one
and you never will
sentence
again
before.
out of my mouth. I just had to say it because it's an Easter egg.
Is that an important character arc for him?
No,
or
I mean,
is it just a random?
No, it's not an arc.
Hey,
It's just
did you know?
It's a factoid. He's in over 22 issues. And he has a fetish for women in wheelchairs. Fun fact, almost every character in The Boys has like a peculiar fetish of some kind in the comics.
Okay.
For no reason. It's just, hey, aren't we edgy? In lieu of character arcs, they have fetishes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's who Jeffrey Dean Morgan is playing. So obviously they're not going to do that, and it's interesting.
So anytime Jeffrey Dean Morgan is like on screen, I will always be looking for monkeys or wheelchairs in the background
Sure.
for that Easter
That'd
egg.
be like a fun little thing for you. Yeah.
Okay.
But those are all my things from the Vought Vault on this episode. So now it's time.
Oh, did you read like all the characters?
I did take a picture. I mean, I didn't know how entertaining that would be for anybody that didn't pause it.
I want to know.
Some of the candidates in the back there. We've got, of course, Tech Knight, but some of these were mentioned. Talon, Europo, The Standard, Lady Arclight. We did talk about Dog Knot, who didn't eat a dog. He ate out a dog.
It's important. That's an important distinction.
Mal, I love that the Deep of all people is like, hey,
There's
what's
a
weird about that?
difference.
Malchemical,
Love
Big
is love.
Game, The Divine, Incineron, Dr. Peculiar, Shout Out. No, that's one of the names.
Shout out.
Invisilass,
Shout out!
Jimmy the One,
Jimmy the One.
Groundhawk, Pinwheel, Lord Horace, Holy Mary, Slack
I
Helmet,
don't like that.
Pit Stop, Jet Streak,
I already don't like Pit Stop. His powers are gross. I know for sure. His or her powers.
Airburst, Luckless, yeah, bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And they're all on different teams. The Young Americans, the G-Man, the G-Men. These are all different superhero crews from the comic books.
Like minor league superhero teams.
Teenage Kicks,
Gotcha.
stuff like that. So it's fun if you read those weird ass comic books. But now it's time to nominate our Compound VIP, our favorite performance of the episode. Madison, who are you going to give it to for episode 1?
The butthole. No, I'm kidding.
Best performance by a butthole.
I think mine is Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander. I think I just feel like his range with how he's able to be so impressively like captivating, but also very I hate his character, but I love his character. I can just sit and watch him.
Oh, he's captivating.
Yeah, he's a
Yes.
fascinating person to watch.
Yes. And so I think to be able to just deliver that is really impressive. And I think in this episode in particular with Ryan and with Butcher, I think he just did really well. So Anthony Starr.
Lovely.
Nice.
Diabolical.
I'm going for Carl Urban as
Nice.
Billy Butcher. I just love that character in the fact that he's also, I mean, Anthony Starr, I think you can like give it to him literally every episode and you would not be wrong at all.
Yeah.
But I really liked Carl's work in this one where he's just kind of like, you know, he's the whole dynamic of the team has changed. He's on the outs. He's been demoted in his own group and he's kind of, you know, mucking about and upset. And he's talking to someone that's not there. It's just an interesting slight
different for him.
change for the character. And I'm excited to see where it goes. And honestly, at the end, after the butthole, and it cuts back to him and the Sex Pistols
More
starts
himself
playing.
from ever.
It just made me be like, yeah, like that was a fist pumping moment for watching The Boys.
I do that every time I see one.
A butthole.
Fist bump.
Yeah. Let me see that butt.
I didn't want to go there.
Where are you pumping?
My Compound VIP goes to Karen Fukuhara, who plays Kamiko.
Another great choice.
Always,
Amazing.
I would love to give it to her, the award to her as much as I could. But I don't.
Give it to her.
Thank you for clarifying.
I was
Pounding.
trying to stop you guys
I saw it
from
and
making it weird.
We made eye contact and you immediately looked away because
See,
you
I
fucking
didn't-
knew. You fucking knew.
I didn't
You fucking knew.
I didn't even need to like see the interaction. I just knew never mind. I just knew it.
She's a lovely actress who deserves all the awards. And I don't think they always give her enough to do for me to give her this award in the future is what I was trying to say. But this episode, she deserves it because she had what made me laugh the hardest.
Baby hand.
And also like the most emotional moment for the episode for me. So that's why I'm giving it to
also baby
Karen Fukuhara. And that wraps up our coverage of episode 1, season 4 of The Boys, Department of Dirty Tricks. Tomorrow, you'll hear our coverage of episode 2, and the following day, episode 3. And then next Friday will be episode 4 and so on. Mr. Steve.
Yeah, I just want to say before we cut loose, by the time you're listening to this, tickets for the Streaming Things live show are on sale for the general public. So anybody can go on the website and purchase a ticket for our live show on October 5th here in Cincinnati at the Woodward Theater. A bunch of your favorite Streaming Things characters will be here. So come check us out, buy a ticket and support the show.
What website is
Heck
that?
yeah.
Is that streamingthingspod.com?
No, it is something else that is in the show notes.
Okay, yeah, go to the show notes.
Go to the show notes.
CincyTickets.com/bunch of bullshit.
We won't be able to tell you the bit.ly. Just go down there and click it. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/streamingthings if you want to hear the extra bonus poll episodes each month, as well as our Game of Thrones coverage. There's a newsletter each month. There's Discord access, all kinds of good stuff. Check out our stuff on the YouTube if you'd rather watch videos, and all kinds of other shit I should probably be telling you. Oh, email the show at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. But that's all the time we've got for right now. We've got to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming The Boys.
Happy streaming.